Yes, people. Yes. So what? It's your boy, Bits and Bobs. Myself and introduce yourself.
Lambs. Yeah, you can kind of see my name, which
Yeah,
is
yeah,
you
yeah. They can see that.
now,
They can see
but
that. We've
yeah,
we've came together. Um, Me being from Scotland and Edinburgh, Lambs being from London, north meets south. We got chatting. We thought, we started to segue into racism in football. So what we're doing, guys, is that we're gonna try and start. In fact, not want to try. We are going to talk about racism in football and in the media. Um, I'm Bob's, she's Lambs, and this is our show called "Don't Piss Me Off." Lambs, I'm going to let you go first, and let's start the subject. Let's get right into it.
okay. Yeah. Thank you, of course, for having me on here as well. So
No, you're
I
welcome.
appreciate that. So yeah. Actually, I thought this was a really interesting concept to be a part of because obviously this is a real issue in the footballing world, and
Massively.
yeah, and it's something that just doesn't get addressed properly, or the media normalize it so much so that people subconsciously aren't even aware of these associations that they usually make when it comes to some of these white players in comparison to some of these black players as well.
100%.
Especially given whether they're British or international level as well.
Mm-hmm.
Not that it does matter because some of the articles that we were going to discuss as well, in particular, I think the first thing we wanted to talk about was how the media portray, say, Raheem Sterling.
Yeah.
So the headlines, the newspaper articles, the stories that have been associated with him, say the last few years, really and
Yeah.
truly.
2 3 years easily, because when we go back to the World Cup,
Yeah,
guy was,
exactly. You can go back to
yeah,
the World Cup in South Africa, actually,
exactly.
which
Which
is
is
crazy.
crazy when you think about it, because now he's the same people that are writing bad stuff, that were writing bad stuff about him, are now waxing lyrically about him, saying he's this and he's that, how much of a great player. And it also shows how fickle and some media reporters are, because when it suits them to salute or appreciate the black players, they do it on their own merit, do you know what I'm trying to say? Yeah, we can talk about, so obviously Phil Foden and Raheem Sterling. He famously, I say famously, he worldwidely known, made a statement on his Instagram post regarding the two headlines. You know, him and Phil Foden, I believe it was Phil Foden, yes, done the same thing, bought a house
For their mums.
for their mums. Okay, they're in fortunate positions to be able to, financially secure their families, and their mums who obviously supported them through their whole journey. Now,
Exactly. Gave birth to them, raised them, fed them, helped them
exactly.
with their dreams. Can you not argue that yes, they owe their mothers everything?
Well, there you go. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So the papers reported Foden as Man City starlet Phil Foden buys new 2 million home for his mom. Now, I just want to dissect that. Why is it making news that he's buying his mom a house? Who is feeding this information to these reporters? Are you following these guys? Are you in the broker meeting? Are you, at the house viewing? Okay. Now, we go back to, I believe Sterling was troubled teen. I believe, what was it? Can you just correct me on that one for the Sterling one?
Do
When
you
we
know
compare
what?
it.
There's been quite a few. So let me just read out a couple. So
Okay.
one of the ones was I think the headline starts with obscene Raheem, and it
Yeah.
says England failure steps off plane and insults fans by showing off blinging house.
Okay,
So
so right, Manchester City have two players here. One Raheem Sterling, one Phil Foden. Now, they
both
even made that headline that rhymes with his first name. Obscene Raheem. Okay? That's trash. What the fuck? What are you like? What mindset are you in already? Or what kind of mindset do you have to even print that? And let's remember, these journalists go to their editors and they approve this. And so England failure. No, it's not Raheem's fault that Harry Kane didn't square the ball. Okay, let's say how it is. It's not Raheem's fault that England didn't win the World Cup. It's not Raheem's fault that, they didn't progress. Okay, there was a squad of 20 plus players. Okay, and he says he insults fans. Right. Fans. Are we talking about the whole world? The whole England fan base? What is insulting of Raheem Sterling buying a house? Whether it be a small house, a bungalow, semi-detached, mansion, whatever. What's the papers and the media's concern with that? It's got nothing to do with them. However,
I really want to know, sorry to
no, that's okay.
What I really want to know is, who are these so-called fans that feel insulted by this, and why, more importantly, do they feel insulted by this? Are you related to him in any way?
Right.
Does he owe you anything in any way?
Right.
So why should it offend or insult you that a young, successful Black man who's overcome and fought so many obstacles to get to the position that he is in today, why should it insult these so-called fans that he's buying a house for his mother?
You and I both know, and I'm going to put out there, it's because he's Black and he's a successful Black man with a talent. Okay, and do you know what? Certain fans won't like that. And we need to call a spade and a circle. And right now, this is institutional racism. This is systematic racism because obviously the media, and it's inheritance racism because they called Phil Foden a starlet. Now, at the time, Phil Foden wasn't really doing anything. He was having little cameo appearances. So, he was a academy graduate getting graduate academy minutes, Okay, he's English, so obviously the media will hype him up like he's the next Gascoigne or whatever. However, we have Raheem Sterling, who has been scoring goals for England, winning trophies for Man City consistently. And as a starter, he's one of the first names on the team sheet. Why does the media portray two same scenarios, but they create a different picture? Man City starlet buys mum's a new house. Oh, that's brilliant. What a guy. Brilliant. Raheem, obscene Raheem, England flop, showing up insults fans.
Yeah. Right. No. You're right about the other one as well. There's actually another headline that says, so this one, the other headline from the Mail Online, says that's a lot of sterling. 180,000 a week England flop. Raheem shows off blinging house he bought for his mum, complete with jewel encrusted bathroom, hours after flying home in disgrace from Euro 2016. So again, do you see how big and loaded that headline was, just because they felt like they just had to just get all of those jabs and those shady in, just to literally paint this picture that who does this guy think he is after England had been knocked out of the Euros, that he has the audacity to buy his mum a house?
Right. So
what about the other 20 plus players that went with him?
Exactly.
Do they have, what audacity do they have? Are
Exactly.
you talking about them? Are you talking about their performances? Are you commenting on the houses, money, support that they're providing their families? No,
they're not. And we know, I'm going to be very bold here and say it's because he's Black. It's because he's a successful buyer, and also he's an easy target. He is an easy target. When he left Liverpool, I think he was public enemy number one. Everyone couldn't believe that he went for 50 million. What was he doing leaving Liverpool? He wasn't the finished article. So what he does in his profession, his transfer, Pep Guardiola wanted to buy him. Ask any professional. If Pep Guardiola wants to buy you, you go. It doesn't matter by hook or by crook. What annoys me is that as a Black man, I read that and think to myself, so amongst all these jabs and all these insults you've given him, All he's done is just bought his mum's a house. Is that what you're telling me? Do you know what I'm trying to say to you? And it's sad.
Thinking, oh, what crime did he commit? Like, who?
Yeah, I'm looking for a scandal.
Yeah, who did he assault? Like, and stuff like that. And you're thinking, oh, nothing. When you actually read the article, he just bought his mum a house. So why are they just going for him? Like, literally tearing this guy, like dragging this guy down for doing something very chivalrous, for doing something that mostly anybody would. If you find yourself in a good position
financially,
you're not going to look after your family first and foremost.
It's human nature, and
it's so crazy how it just comes down to the language that they just completely paints a different narrative. And again, like what you said, Manchester City starlets compared to obscene Raheem or England failure or England flop.
And do you know what, Lambs? Let's say how it is. Yeah, most people don't read these articles; they just read the headlines.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Clickbait. That's what it is. They see a headline. Oh, that Foden's a good guy. I saw that he bought his mum a house. Oh, what about that Raheem Sterling guy? Oh, he's just a flashy get, blah, 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 and stuff. We live in a generation where it's clickbait, you know? And these papers, these journalists know what they're doing, you know? And it's an agenda, and it is an agenda. And it's agenda for propaganda, it's agenda for likes, views, attention, you know? Oh, we said that. And what annoys me the most, it invokes and it encourages casual racism.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay to say that about these black players because he's black. We said it, and other people can say it. It just leads, and it's a conveyor belt of disgusting behaviour. You know, we're going to segue, right? Time to segue on to Harry Maguire. Okay, right, which is probably still recent in a few people's minds and hearts. And with this one, Lambs, yeah, I'm not going to lie to you. I just thought this was so interesting. Okay, now the facts are he went to jail for assault and bribery. Okay, he was convicted. Okay, I believe he's appealing the decision or whatnot. People that watch this back, please correct me if I'm wrong. One of the headlines, okay, with this was Harry Maguire is everything Man United wanted in a captain. So his arrest in McConaughey has come as a huge shock. Sorry. No, let me look. Let's just dilute this. He went to jail. He was arrested. Okay, I don't care if you're a law-abiding citizen or not law-abiding, whatever. You went to jail. Okay, you have committed a crime. You were arrested. Now, the image they are portraying of this guy is acting like they're his best friend, they're his uncle, they're his auntie. Oh, my Harry wouldn't do that. Do they know this guy personally?
Thank you. I was just about to get onto that. So it sounds like the person or the media journalists who are writing this, it honestly sounds like they've given him a character reference or something in the past. They're just like, it's almost like those people that testify like, oh, nobody has a bad word to say against this person. Oh, he's such a role model. He doesn't. Yeah. Oh, in my experience of him, oh yeah, like, oh, this is
a guy.
There has to be some other kind of explanation because it doesn't make sense.
Right.
Why would this golden boy, this golden child, this 85 million defender that is the captain of Manchester United and plays for the England team, like, why would he do that? He wouldn't do that. I'm sorry. Do you know him personally? Like, there is video evidence, there is footage, there is witness accounts, there is so much evidence pointing to the fact that he is guilty of the crime that he's been accused of. He had a trial and he's been found guilty. Yeah. So to see a headline like that,
yep,
And the fact that they've put, so his arrest in Mykonos comes as a huge, and they put huge in capital letters, as into like, oh, this is unheard of. Like, this is crazy. And why is it unheard of? Because it actually happened. You don't know him personally, so you don't know what he's capable of or not capable.
You don't know his background. You don't know if he's an arrogant person. He could be, you know, they came out and said, "Don't you know who I am? I'm the Man United captain." No.
And I believe he said that. I believe
100%. And you know, guys, this is me and Lamb's opinions. It's not for everyone. This is our opinions and personally. But what we're saying is that for them to turn around and say, "Yeah, he said, don't you know who I am? I'm the Man United captain." Okay, people might watch football. People get it. Man United's a global football club. Okay, Harry Maguire is. However, police can lie. Police can be corrupt. I get that. But you're telling me the footage and everything, and they're saying like, yeah, he tried to bribe us. Why would they add more charges to the actual thing? Do you know what I mean? Like,
if they have no way of proving
it. Do you know what I'm trying to say? And you know, there's a funny thing they say in Scotland. It's not what you know, is what you can prove. Okay? And that's a very common phrase in law, in court, and anything. And they proved that he was guilty. Now, all they wanted was an apology. However, he didn't want to give that. And I want to pause there, right? So he's went to jail, okay? He's went to court, blah, blah, blah. And he was still portrayed as this golden boy, this, he can't do wrong. Now, a certain member of the same football team has a haircut, okay? Paul Pogba gets a haircut. Paul Pogba doesn't drink alcohol. Paul Pogba is a very family man. Most professionals come out and you see videos of him on social media, socializing people. Bruno Fernandes came out and said, you know, Pogba, my first day, he came up to me with a brochure and he said, after training, we'll go look for houses for you to settle in. Yesterday was seen translating for Cavani. Paul Pogba gets injured. People say he's faking injury. He had to video himself in the hospital. Okay, media get onto him. Graham Souness gets onto him. Now, why do we get onto him?
Roy Keane gets onto him.
But why? Why do we get onto him? Why does the media feel the need to, like, as a journalist, why is your competence to think, I'm going to write about Paul Pogba having another haircut? Why is that making news? What hatred do you have in your heart, in your mind, to say, flashy Paul Pogba, lazy Paul Pogba? Excuse me, he's injured. He's not in the team. At the time, he was injured. He's not capable of fulfilling any fixtures because he's injured. Okay? So this is away from football, like the Harry Maguire situation. Yet, Paul Pogba is portrayed to be this lazy person, to be a virus, to be this. However,
this toxic personality,
exactly,
out of the club, entitled personality, golden child mentality. Says who?
Exactly.
Says who?
Are you the fly in the room?
Yeah, do you know? I'm really glad that you mentioned this about Bruno, because it's not just Bruno. Like other teammates of his as well for United, and even other teammates of his from the French international team have come out and constantly always praised just how much of a stand-up guy, a good guy this guy is. Like, give you the clothes off his back, like, you know, if your car broke down, probably like drive you to and from training, stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's just that kind of person.
The English media don't want to hear that, Lambs.
Yeah, they always have like the highest praises to give him as well. What he does outside of football as well, like you said, he's a family man. He, like you said, he doesn't drink, he doesn't like do drugs or get involved in any of these, like, you know, obscene activities that
he's not committed any crimes.
Exactly.
He's not committed any crimes. My point is that you are writing about someone who's getting a haircut, who goes down to the barber shop where his barber comes. That's what you're writing about. Okay, forget his performances on the pitch, because actually last season he was one of he still contributed in the lockdown period. The season before, he was one of the top goal scorers. So actually,
when he came back from injury after the lockdown period, I think it was players like him and Bruno and Martial being on form as well that probably helped United make those Champions League spots.
Exactly.
Definitely wasn't guaranteed at that point.
But no word on his performance.
Was still in a better position than you at that point.
No word on his performance. It's just about his haircuts. Now, I segue back to Harry Maguire, Man United captain. Okay, commits a crime, gets arrested abroad. However, the image and the words advertises a law-abiding citizen. This is a complete shock. Harry Maguire's been at Man United for 5 minutes. What do you mean? You don't know what he's like. You know, you don't know him personally. You don't know Paul Pogba personally. What we're saying, guys, is keep the same energy. You know, don't show your discrimination and your unconscious racism, biased behavior, because we all can see it. You know, it's 2020 now. Everyone knows what it is. You know, keep the same energy. And one more thing I'd like to add to that, Lambs. Jack Grealish, drink driving. Okay. Some people that do that go to jail, get sentenced. Do you know
everyone that does that does get jail or some kind of probation or fine? And
he what? Done an apology? Oh, because he's a footballer, it's fine. No, but there was no media coverage. There was no ecstatic.
There was no
backlash. It just went over just carried on, and it's obvious that certain English players over black players, not just English, get different coverage in the media, and we want it to stop because obviously, one, people know that no one buys newspapers anymore, but it's also derogative. It's very negative, and can you imagine? Obviously, I can imagine players reading or not reading. However, for people of that community to read such slander, such negative headlines, it then allows other races to have a picture and an opinion of all black people or all people of the BAME. You know what I mean? Oh, they must be all the same, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, they're thugs, they're this.
They're lazy, troublemakers, they're virus, they're flashy.
Criminals, involved in like drugs and
exactly.
Gangs and stuff like that. It's probably why they have all of these like marks and like hashtags and these like tattoos and stuff, because they're representing like their respective gangs, and it's just like what, like
so
like the whole tattoo that Raheem Sterling got, which was, I think it's actually something to do with his family as well.
Yeah. So,
and the way they got onto him, but oh my god, over that tattoo, which actually was like met with something sentimental and meaningful to him. The way they got onto him, thinking like, oh, he's part of some like Jamaican gang or something like that.
You know what I mean?
Ridiculous.
And they didn't even know what it was or what it meant, and they were crying out for him to be dropped. He shouldn't play for England again over a tattoo. Now, let me just remind people: a certain David Beckham played in the World Cup in South Korea, and he was advised to wear long sleeve shirts because his tattoos could seem to be offensive. Okay? It was hot out in Korea, but my man had to wear long sleeve because of his tattoos, who he's covered from neck all the way down.
All the way down to his ankles. You know that.
That's no slander on David Beckham because he's one of my favourite players, me being a Man United fan, idol, and so on.
He was one of my favourite players, like growing up. Like, look, he just had a killer left foot of his.
You mean right foot, young lady?
Oh, right, yeah. You know what? I'm thinking about Ziyech because Ziyech has that killer left foot, you know. So Beckham has that right foot. Yeah, but do you know what I mean? Like my guy used to treat free kicks like penalties sometimes. Do you know what I mean?
I'm telling you. So let's keep the slander and keep the energy. And what I don't understand is that why are you writing about it? Like, is there nothing serious to write about? Like, you're writing about people's haircuts and you're writing about he's a flop. Your individual opinion of him, your personal opinion of this person shouldn't be in the papers. If you think like that, think like all you want. Look, there's going to be ignorant people. Not everyone's going to like players, blah, 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 for what reason. But you're imprinting your own personal opinion in the newspaper, which all these editors and chief editors are approving, to now a nation reads it. And, and that kind of negativity, unfortunately, is contagious. Positivity is contagious. Why are we not just saying, if we're going to write about it, Man United starlets, Foden, Raheem Sterling, buy their mum a house. Okay, cool story.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, why is that even making papers? I just want to go into another topic. Yeah?
But if it is going to make the papers, then keep the same energy. At the end of the day, is a player, or just in general, without even mentioning football, is somebody who's in a good financial position buying their mum a house a bad thing? No, we all know that's a good thing. Everyone's like, oh, that's great. Oh, you bought your mum a house. Oh, that's lovely. Oh, good for you. Good for her. That's a good positive thing to celebrate.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, if you are going to depict that as news, then depict it in the positive light that it's supposed to be shown in.
100%.
Don't just paint one person in a certain light because you want them to be viewed in a particular way, and paint somebody else in another light for both of them doing the exact same thing, but because you want to push a certain narrative relating to one player, and you want to push this other narrative relating to another player, and you don't even realize it, but it does influence people subconsciously. Like, after a while, people might think, oh, Raheem Sterling, oh, that lazy good for nothing. And it's just like, wait, what, why do you think that? And it's, oh, you not see the article in the Sun or the Daily Mail, and it's just like, wait, what?
Exactly.
But hold on a second. Did they not publish the same article? Phil Foden doing the exact same thing.
Exactly.
Is it why is Mason Greenwood a so-and-so because he broke the lockdown regulations, but Phil Foden's now back to being Manchester City's the golden child?
Yep. And I'm glad we segued onto that.
Done, all forgiven. I'm
glad you segued onto that, because Mason Greenwood was single. Phil Foden has a partner and has a child. Now, do you know what? Look, do what the hell you want in your private life. Personally, I don't care. Okay. Yeah. If they're going to cover this, keep the same energy. Yeah. I can imagine these reporters were gutted to find out Greenwood was single. Greenwood didn't have any child, any partner, any family, blah, blah.
You know, the partner and the child.
We already know what was going to be, how he's going to be labeled a cheat, a rat, England rat. You know. And everyone knows how it had been portrayed. But with the whole Foden thing, it's been played out, you know. And
nobody mentions it anymore. Nobody.
No,
because
it's done.
They aren't mentioning it anymore.
That's what I'm saying, that there's a certain blanket on white English players compared to black players. I know what you're saying, black English players. There's a certain way that the press communicate things completely different, and it's obvious. I mean, the proof's in the pudding there. It's all in black and white. I want to go into our final topic for our first episode, is Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Okay, and I believe this article was in the Sun. I'll just read it out to you guys. The ex-Borussia Dortmund star, who is going through a bit of a slump since signing his monster, by the way, new Arsenal deal in September, is famous for his impressive car collection. Now, what annoys me is just that opening statement. Okay,
it's all of the language and the descriptive words that they've used to describe this guy. Like, first of all, the first disrespect is calling him an ex-Borussia Dortmund player.
Yes.
So he hasn't played for them for a couple of years now. He's been fully an Arsenal player for the last 2.5 years. Everybody knows that.
Yep.
So, and then another thing, bringing up his wages and his new contract, as if to say, oh, he's done absolutely nothing to earn that, when he was Arsenal's top scorer. He almost won the Golden Boot last year as well. I think he was maybe one goal
away. And the year before he won it, he was sharing it. So.
Just one goal behind Jamie Vardy. Otherwise, they would have come joint top. So he's Arsenal's top goal scorer. last year. The season before, he was the Golden Boot joint winner as well. So it's not like he hasn't earned this new contract. He's earned this new contract. And then to further go and say, oh, he's famous for his impressive car collection. No, he's not. Yeah. I don't know how many cars he has. I know he's got some cars. I don't know how many cars he has, what kind of cars he has, the types, the make, the models, the year. I don't know any of that. I know him for his goal contributions at Borussia Dortmund and at Arsenal as a striker. That's what he's famous for. That's what we all know him for.
Yes. And you know, I agree with everything you said there. His impressive. He's not famous for that, because if he was famous for his car collection, okay, why are you talking about his house? Let's you know, why is there not pictures of his cars then? You know, his monster new deal, right? Okay, now we need to get over this fact about players earning loads of money. It is what it is. There's billions and billions of pounds in the game of football, in the profession. Okay, you can say he earned it. You can say whatever, but in football, everyone has their own value. Okay, and within business, politics, whatever, to Arsenal Football Club, this is the value they have of him. Of course, he's going to sign it. Do you know, if you ask a cleaner who's earning £10 a week or £10 an hour, and then to be offered £30 an hour from another company or enhanced new wages or whatever, they're going to take it.
Package, of course. They're
going to take it. It's common sense. When they say ex-Borussia Dortmund star, that's, for me, I think that's just poor journalism. You know, he's been at Arsenal for a good few years now. He's won trophies at Arsenal. Okay?
And it's almost like they're trying to make it sound like he's a reject of
yes,
like he wasn't
flopped.
good enough for them.
He flopped when people worldwide, Europe, big clubs were looking at him. You know, and Arsenal were very fortunate he went there.
So many offers.
Do you know what I'm saying? He went to Arsenal. It's very known that his family are settled. You know, it's very known that he enjoys living in London. He even engages with fans. It's very known. You see it on AFTV with Troops and Robbie. You know,
and that was part of his decision to stay on, because
renew his contract.
He had no obligation after the team finished 8th in the league, and he's approaching like the final stages of his career. He might think, oh, you know, he'll probably get offers from these teams like the Real Madrids, the Barcelonas, the Juventus, Juventuses as well, to give him a contract, a deal, and he'll have a better chance at probably winning something with those clubs. But he chose to stay at Arsenal and accept the deal because of the connection that he has with the fans, because of how welcome he feels, because he feels like he belongs here.
Yeah, and if Arsenal choose to pay him handsomely, so be it.
Exactly. It's not like he doesn't deserve it. So it really doesn't make sense. We know that Arsenal is a club with a history of, you know, having to let some of their best players go, and not effectively replacing them as well. So for them to do whatever they can to make sure they secured their best player and he's not going away, he's not going anywhere for a while, that's very positive news.
That's standard football behavior, though, isn't it?
Yeah, on the club's behalf, it's the same thing. It's the same thing with us at Chelsea. It's the same thing for you guys at Manchester United. If United were to offer, say, a new deal to Paul Pogba and he accepted, you lot would be and should be over the moon, because he's a quality player. He's one of the best players in that squad. Like I'm sorry, regardless of whatever up and down moments Manchester United come through, there are certain games that without that pass from Pogba, without that assist, there's no goal. That goal is not happening.
Exactly. And I'm glad you said that.
The ability to make something out of nothing.
Exactly.
He not assist Greenwood's goal in the
Listen, that's what I said to you. See, yesterday, the pass he makes, Bruno Fernandes doesn't make that pass because, okay, he made the good pass.
Although Bruno Fernandes made a very good pass.
Yeah, but there was fields, grass in front of him. You know, like the pass for Greenwood, the weight, the speed, you know, to be able to execute that, you know, he does it. And like, look, Pogba was one of my favorite players. So, you know,
people forget he's a World Cup winner. He won the World Cup. Like, he was
respect on his name, man. Do you know what I mean?
Immense for France in the World Cup in that midfield. He was absolutely, like, everything was going through him. everything was going through him. So
exactly.
so the respect or the lack of respect actually shown by the British media and even some Manchester United fans towards him is absolutely disgusting, because ask fans of any other rival fans, would you have Pogba in your team? Hell yeah.
100%.
Tomorrow, he can come tomorrow and he'll team.
A lot of these fans would probably pick him up from the airport. Do you know what I mean? So yeah. But listen, Lambs, that's the first episode of Don't Piss Me Off. And so passionate, so many views. And I hope people do, listen and learn and, start becoming woke and start realizing that, for some newspapers, there's a agenda and a narrative to portray black players in this country and black players in general in a negative way. Yo, Lambs, man, plug your socials, man, so people know where they can find you.
So at the moment, I'm only using really Instagram, so that's my tag over there. So it's at Lamia Ahmed. So that's me.
Good. Yo, guys, it's Bits and Bobs _. Find me on Twitter. Also, socials are in the description. Yes, people, thank you so much. First episode, it's a wrap. Stay tuned to the next episode next week.